A question that always comes up when you're talking about development in a language, especially like C++, is, wait a minute, do I have to work in the Microsoft environment, or are there other IDEs or integrated development environments that I can use? Now, I touched on this in a movie entitled Development Options. And in that movie, I kind of concentrated on what we're going to use in this course. But I want to give you just a little bit more background and a little bit more intense of a resource here, if you will, and understand that when it comes to choosing an integrated development environment, this gets down to things like why there are Democrats and Republicans. You know, people drive Fords, they drive Chevys, they use paper or they use plastic. So what I'm getting at here is some of this seems to be genetically based or something, or it's based on our environment, or the particular part of the country we grew up in, or the world we grew up in, and so forth. And so let's talk about the basic question: what makes a good integrated development environment? Well, if you ask about 100 people that, you'll get about 110 different answers. And I know that's mathematically impossible, but it's almost that bad. A better question, the best way to think of it is, for example, get a room full of, say, 5 people, and ask the simple question: what makes good music? All right? Well, it's easy to answer in some ways, but almost impossible in others. There are 1 or 2 basic foundational standards, and when we're talking about good music, you know, it's got to have, you know, a beat, it's got to have some sort of discernible pattern. It needs to be based, if you're in the Western world here, you know, on the 12 semitone scale, that sort of thing. If you're from other parts of the world, it's going to be based on what you're used to hearing, what your ear has kind of been tuned to through life. And so, you know, you might can very easily agree on those basic foundational standards, but everything past that is personal taste. How the drums are played, how they're mixed, how the guitar sounds, whether there's even a guitar, whether there's a lot of brass, whether there's no brass, on and on and on. The bottom line is you can't get 5 people to decide what makes good music, all right? You also can't get 5 people to decide what makes a good IDE, not with any kind of definite. Now, how many choices do you have? Notice I've got XX choices here because the number of choices goes up every day, it seems like. And I'll give you 2 of the most popular ones that it seems to me, from the people I talk to, the things I read and see. The first one is NetBeans IDE 7.0. This is actually an Oracle product. You can use this to develop C, C++, and Fortran. Here's right off of their website, okay, this statement. You can develop professional native applications in C, C++, and Fortran for a variety of platforms, including Windows, Linux, Mac OS, and the Solaris operating system. Now that's my best salesman voice. But NetBeans looks good. A lot of people like it. You can find a lot of comments out there on the internet. I've never developed in it a whole lot. CodeBlocks is extremely popular. I've already mentioned it before in the course. This is an open source product. It runs on Linux, Mac, and Windows. Now, one thing I want to include in the course here is this comparison chart of C++ integrated development environments, and it's actually out on Wikipedia. And here is the URL right here. Now, if you navigate to that URL, you're going to find something that looks like this, all right? And if you scroll down, you'll notice their comparison of integrated development environments here covers a lot of different languages, and we're concerned about the C++ one. Well, I'm just going to scroll down here, and notice on the C++, notice it's showing you the different IDEs, and you can actually click on each one, and it will take you to some information about them. But it's showing you the licensing, what operating system this will work with, and on and on and on. But as I scroll down very slowly here, just notice how many integrated development environments there are out there that's listed on this website, and you can even find more out there if you dig around the internet. So you've got a lot to choose from. Feel free to go dig through these things based on the operating system you're using. Notice this will run on Windows. This one will run on Windows. It'll also run on FreeBSD, the Mac OS. But just go out there and look around at these and play with them and find one you like that meets all those personal taste criteria for you. And then you can fight with other developers about what the best IDE is, okay? But I just wanted to give you this to you as a resource because even though we're going to work in the Microsoft Visual Studio integrated development environment, just because it's very easy for everybody to get that for free and to work in a common environment for the purposes of this course. The world's wide open out there, ladies and gentlemen. Go find something you really like, you're really comfortable with, and get busy with it.